A very warm welcome to TV47 BanterZone, your number one destination for all matters football. A very warm welcome to TV47 BanterZone, your number one destination for all matters football. Now, what an intense week it has been in the world of football, especially in Europe. This is with regards to the Euro 2020 tournament that is ongoing. Now, we had match day 2 and match day 3 of that competition taking shape throughout the entire week. And, you know, on set tonight, I have none other than my co-host, Loten Salape and Eric Njiru, who are going to help me discuss about the matches that were played in the Euro 2020. Gentlemen, welcome on set. Tell me, how has the week been for you?
I mean, obviously, it's been a great week. It's great to make a comeback this week. Last week was a little bit here nor there. But the football definitely continued. A lot of off-field drama, but we'll definitely be here to ensure that you have a good time as we talk about nothing but the beautiful game of football.
And Eric Njiru, probably how your week has been?
I mean, it's been fine. It's been fantastic. Even the best defender in the Premier League scored an own goal. We are ready for everything. That is Ruben Diaz.
Ruben Diaz scored a known goal. I like the way you started the show. Of course, Ruben Diaz is the centre back of one team, that is Portugal. Now, we're going to talk about Ruben Diaz and how he got to score the own goal. Now, just to kick things off, we'll start off with the question of the day, so that you get to interact with us on our social media platforms. Now, remember, after I post the question of the day, you can tweet and, you know, put in our hashtags, that is at Loten Salape, at Eric Njiru, and at Tieno23. Now, the question of the day goes like, which team has been the biggest disappointment in the tournament so far? Which team has been the biggest disappointment in the tournament, that is the Euro 2020, so far? Feel free to send your feedback on our social media platforms as well as our direct SMS line, that is 22047. Gentlemen, you know, before the feedback starts coming in, maybe I start with both of you. Your sentiments about the team that has been the disappointment in the tournament so far.
I mean, to me, this is going to come as a surprise to many of you, but I know people are expecting me to say Turkey, A few of you are trying to say Poland, but I think the most disappointing team so far has to be Spain. All right, so they have qualified to the next round of the the round of 16, which is the knockout round essentially, but they have been abysmal. One of the worst Spanish sides that we have ever seen in recent times. Very disjointed. I still don't understand why, Luis Enrique cannot find a position for Thiago Alcantara. I don't understand what Dani Olmo is doing in that team. Morata, I swear to God, I'm a better striker than Morata. And so when I look at that whole Spanish outfit, nothing to write home about.
Eric?
I do think Turkey, for me, I was with Lochan 2 weeks ago and he told me Turkey are like one of the dark horses. And obviously everyone expecting Turkey at least to do much better. Look, we've got teams like Czech Republic, Sweden, Ukraine who have gone through to the round of 16. I do think Turkey, though they played well coming to the Euros, they should have done at least better. But the other team I do think that we expect them to do better than they've done is Portugal. As far as they were in that bad group, like tough group, with all that quality, from the defense, having the best player in the Premier League, their midfield, I do think Bruno's been boosting the Premier League, although some people say it's penalties. Going forward, obviously, they have Cristiano, they've got Jota, they've got Bernardo Silva, they've got even João Felix, who's not playing. But I do think they won only one game that they beat Hungary, and they lost to Germany 4-2, and then last night they drew against France. So I do think that has not been the best of the best performance from the defending champions and one of the super favorites of this tournament.
But in defense of Portugal, they were in the group of death. But my team, the team that I'm going to choose as the disappointment of the tournament so far, I'm going to select Croatia, despite the fact that they've qualified into the round of 16 of the competition. It is a world-class team that went into the semi-finals of the World Cup. They're supposed to play world-class football, register victories, given the fact that they were in a very simple group, having England, that is, was in Group D. So Croatia did not perform to the par and the caliber that they're supposed to be playing at. But unfortunately, we saw them performing dismally.
Dennis, sorry for cutting you short, but why would you say Croatia, yet Croatia is one of the oldest teams at this particular tournament? Luka Modric is well over his 30s, the likes of Rebic. They lost Rakitic just before this tournament. I mean, they're one of the most aging sides, and what they're trying to bring through is actually a new crop of players. The likes of Perisic, we've seen the better part of them, but now it's just give them the benefit of this is an old team playing in a tier tournament with a lot of young players.
And one of the things that makes teams flourish is the aging teams, because the players have chemistry within them.
Like Switzerland.
Like, when you talk about club football, Juventus back in the day, the old lady, when all the players, were, very old, but they had chemistry within the team. And the same goes to apply with Croatia. Now, look at Cristiano Ronaldo, who's very old, but he's still doing everything possible to make sure that Portugal progress in the competition.
If you put Ronaldo in that bracket, look at everyone around Ronaldo. Ruben Diaz, 24. Pepe is probably the oldest at I think 35 thereabout. Guerrero, Semedo, Ruben Neves, Bruno Fernandes, Diego Jota, João Felix, Renato Sanchez. Everyone else, Bernardo Silva, everyone around him is well into, actually none of them, most of them have not even hit 25. And then Ronaldo comes in as the godfather, over 33. But now when you look at Croatia, their talisman is a man like Luka Modric, who we all know his better days are way past him.
How about Ivan Perisic?
Ivan Perisic is also an old folk. He's just played the game a little bit longer. Him and Rebic, very old guys. Rakitic, they lost him. He didn't even travel for this tournament. It's just a very different. Eric, what do you think about
Dennis, I do think in that group D, that had Scotland, Czech, and I do think England. I do think you should have even picked England.
Absolutely.
They're not even convincing. The reason why we do watch football is because we want to get entertained, excitement, flair, everything.
And that England actually provided excitement, because what they failed to do is capitalize on their chances.
Dennis,
let me interrupt you.
Were you happy? Did you get excited watching England?
I was.
This is a team that leaves out Jadon Sancho and Jack Grealish,
and that was the only thing that disappointed me about England, the squad selection. But let me tell you what,
that's
gentlemen,
a United fan talking.
Both of these teams that we're talking about, England, Croatia, and all the teams that we've mentioned, we are going to talk about them extensively in the next 60 minutes or so. Now, to start things off in the Euro 2020 is the Group of Death, also known as the Group F, which featured the teams like Germany, France, Portugal, and Hungary. Now, this group was one interesting group because in match day 2 of the group stages of the Euro 2020, France opened their match against Germany.
Yep.
France emerged victorious by 1-0, courtesy of an own goal scored by Mats Hummels. Let's have a look at the highlights of that game.
Promising. Conte fell kindly for him. Pavard! It's behind off Ginter's boot for a corner.
At Global Precast Panels, we have the best quality, durable and affordable precast panels to suit all your needs. Manufactured under a controlled environment, we have the best precast concrete panels, precast concrete floor slabs, precast concrete perimeter wall, precast concrete columns and beams. Our panels reduce construction cost by up to 40% with absolutely no plaster required, including added soundproof benefits. Convenient for story buildings, schools, offices, residential houses, hospitals, and warehouses. Take advantage of our free transport. Contact us on 0702 24 7267 or 0796 24 7267. Global Precast Panels Limited, your reliable option for efficient construction.
These are the sights and sounds of a working nation. There are no shortages to remarkable ideas. What's missing is the will to execute them.
You need to stay relevant. If you don't, you're going to fade off.
Yes, they are a dime in a dozen, but the real meat on these bones comes from trying to realize them.
You just need to perfect anything. If it's drawing, if it's music, pursue it 100% because it's something that is giving back.
Join me, Violet Njoki, as I tell you the stories of these executed ideas, because yours could be next. Mondays, 7:30 p.m.
Hey, now that's hitting the right notes. When life gets boring, we bring out our play. You see, playfulness.
Not going to perform in this competition. Guys, first of all, before we go on to the other matches of Group F, how about we have a look at this first match between France and Germany?
Along with this, because I'm the resident French fan on this particular show. And I was really happy with that game. I think we were very dominant. I think we displayed glimpses of how we want to play. But the only sad part of about that game one was the fact that a man like Karim Benzema, the GOAT himself, was not able to get in and amongst the goals. However, one thing for sure is the fact that the French national team went ahead to top that particular group, and contrary to what Dennis, or the agenda Dennis is trying to set on the show today, yes, France are actually the team that you do not want to face at these Euros.
I agree to that because listen, Dennis, France, obviously apart from obviously being the World Cup champions and super favorites, they've got the quality.
Absolutely.
They know how to control the game, and obviously they're getting the best out of like everyone in their squad. They've got Mbappe, Pogba has really come out well this summer. I mean, even Giroud cannot even like play these days because of how Karim Benzema has now turned up, and there's obviously the likes of Griezmann, and now they build up their play right now. There's that overpassing now the defense, and now from Pogba to the likes of Mbappe and eventually like we saw last night. So I do think it will be so hard by them to keep out France from scoring when you face them.
So in the case that Laurent Salape and Eric Giroud saying that France was the dominant team in that side, and people completely writing off Germany were playing against Portugal in their next match. Germany emerging victorious by 4-2. Talk about retaliation. This was the perfect match for Germany to send out that statement.
Support from Bruno Fernandes alongside him. It's into Diogo Jota. Good chance.
Global Precast Panels, we have the best quality, durable and affordable precast panels to suit all your needs. Manufactured under a controlled environment, we have the best precast concrete panels, precast concrete floor slabs, precast concrete perimeter wall, precast concrete columns and beams. Our panels reduce construction cost by up to 40% with absolutely no plaster required, including including added soundproof benefits, convenient four-story buildings, schools, offices, residential houses, hospitals, and warehouses. Take advantage of our free transport. Contact us on 0702 24 7267 or 0796 24 7267. Global Precast Panels Limited, your reliable option for efficient construction.
These are the sights and sounds of a working nation. There are no shortages to remarkable ideas. What's missing is the will to execute them.
You need to stay relevant. If you don't, you're going to fade off.
Now, after Germany won their match, Eric Njiru and Loten Salapei have said that Germany is a world-class team. Now, they should have registered victories in all the matches in this group. France went ahead to play against Hungary. They drew by a 1-1 draw.
Yes.
So let's have a look at the highlights of that game, or probably, talk about this probably Eric Njiru and Loten Salapei while the highlights are playing in the background. Hungary against France. Now we've seen Germany who are playing against Portugal.
Global Precast Panels. We have the best quality, durable, and affordable precast panels to suit all your needs. Manufactured under a controlled environment, we have the best precast concrete panels, precast concrete floor slabs, precast concrete perimeter wall, precast concrete columns and beams. Our panels reduce construction cost by up to 40% with absolutely no plaster required, including added soundproof benefits, convenient four-story buildings, schools, offices, residential houses, hospitals, and warehouses. Take advantage of our free transport. Contact us on 0702 24 7267 or 0796 24 7267. Global Precast Panels Limited, your reliable option for efficient construction.
These are the sights and sounds of a working nation. There are no shortages to remarkable ideas. What's missing is the will to execute them.
You need to stay relevant. If you don't, you're going to fade off.
Yes, they are a dime in a dozen, but the real meat on these bones comes from trying to realize them.
You just need to perfect anything. If it's drawing, if it's music, pursue it 100% because it's something that is giving back.
Join me, Violet Njoki, as I tell you the stories of these executed ideas, because yours could be next. Mondays, 7:30 p.m.
Hey, now that's hitting the right notes. When life gets boring, we bring out our play. You see, playfulness is in our DNA. It's in the way we move and laugh. It's in the way we walk, the way we rock, and how we just don't stop. You feel me? We add color to everything, to every day and every dish, because the world needs our crazy. We're the different flavors that make life more exciting. We're the ones who add color to every moment. Fanta, color every moment.
Well, the speaker is neither here nor there.
I should have done my outro from here.
Yes, no.
And we're just like that. I look beautiful.
Tune in to Morning Cafe, Mondays to Fridays from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
They were at their home turf. They were playing against Germany. Now, Hungary held Germany to a 2-2 draw. What was different in this match? You said France is the better side.
No, the point is, this game Hungary-Germany was being played in Munich.
Yeah.
We said if they played in Budapest last night, they would have really had a good chance because they would have been playing at home. They've got the home support, and they were good. They took their chances. Like the goal they scored, the second goal to make it 2-1 was a really good goal. I mean, not so many players can score that goal. So going to the group, obviously, where you have to face France, Germany and Portugal is not an easy group, and they were able to hold the world champions on Saturday, I do think, and last night they almost did it. So I do think there's no one who expected Hungary to anyway do anything, but getting a point and almost qualifying on the last day, I do think was quite impressive for them.
I mean, and yet again, I mean, if you had an opportunity to watch that match, depending on whatever platform you're using or streaming it on, you saw how the table was like a ping pong.
Every goal was
Every goal had an impact on the table.
And that's because of Hungary.
Because of how resilient Hungary were. At one point when France was leading, Hungary was second in the pool. Can you imagine that? So it's just how things set up themselves. But to be honest, I really congratulate Hungary. They didn't have one of their star men in Dominic Szoboszlai, who pulled up an Achilles early on in the season. But I mean, what a showing they had at this season.
Amazing performance by Hungary. Now they set up a decider match between Portugal and France after drawing 2-2 against Germany. Now Portugal, who are playing against France, they drew 2-2. Let's have a look at the highlights of that game.
Right here in Kenya. Moutinho to deliver. Also showing you how you can improve the ambience, look and feel of your living and working spaces.
Yes.
Wow.
This is our office.
This is amazing.
Currently, we have a lot of design ideas.
Ranging from your sitting areas, dining areas, as well as your resting and bedroom areas. We have it all right here on the show. Accessories, finishes, as well as the furniture. You can put it in your house to make it unique and incredible.
The Realtor, every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Every plant or animal has a story, and so does every farmer. It could be a day or a year of hard work, heavy rainfall, or a season of... Wait a minute. Hold up. What's happening?
Very short break, but don't go too far. When we come back, we'll talk extensively about Group F as well as other matches in the Euro 2020. Stay tuned.
Global Precast Panels, we have the best quality, durable and affordable precast panels to suit all your needs. Manufactured under a controlled environment, we have the best precast concrete panels, precast concrete floor slabs, precast concrete perimeter wall, precast concrete columns and beams. Our panels reduce construction cost by up to 40% with absolutely no plaster required, including added soundproof benefits, convenient four-story buildings, schools, offices, residential houses, hospitals, and warehouses. Take advantage of our free transport. Contact us on 0702 24 7267 or 0796 24 7267. Global Precast Panels Limited, your reliable option for efficient construction.
These are the sights and sounds of a working nation. There are no shortages to remarkable ideas. What's missing is the will to execute them.
You need to stay relevant. If you don't, you're going to fade off.
Yes, they are a dime in a dozen, but the real meat on these bones comes from trying to realize them.
You just need to perfect anything. If it's drawing, if it's music, pursue it 100% because it's something that is giving back.
Join me, Violet Njoki, as I tell you the stories of these executed ideas, because yours could be next. Mondays, 7:30 p.m.
Hey, now that's hitting the right notes. When life gets boring, we bring out our play. You see, playfulness is in our DNA. It's in...
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. In case you're just joining us, this is TV47BanterZone, the home of entertaining football conversations. Now, before we headed into the break, we were talking about Group F, which is also known as the Group of Death in the Euro 2020 tournament. Now, the highlights that were playing were that of Portugal against France. Portugal getting a 2-2 draw against France. Gentlemen, we saw the match official giving out, two soft penalties. Your sentiments about this, the penalties that the match official gave?
Let me allow Eric to speak because Eric is more conversant with penalties as a Liverpool fan.
I want to speak on the penalty that France conceded because I do think Loris took out Danilo.
Do you think that was a pen?
I do think that was a penalty, 100%.
No way, man. No way, bro.
And that is why he was even given a yellow card.
Why? Explain to me. Like a 5-year-old, why was that a penalty?
When you get the ball and still go for someone's body part, like the leg now, Sindio, it means that's a foul. You've gone for his leg, but you're supposed to go for the ball alone.
But did you get the ball first?
Even if you got the ball first.
No. If you get the ball first, then it's not a tackle.
No.
It's not a foul.
No. You've been watching the Premier League in the last couple of seasons, and you've seen this season, we've had situations where players, after going for the ball, they still caught someone's leg.
Fabulous.
And they got a card. On this situation now, the goalkeeper of France, that is Hugo Lloris, went for the ball, and after getting the ball, he went for Danilo's head.
No, listen, can I give you a perfect example?
Yes.
A goalkeeper and obviously an offensive player. Virgil van Dijk versus Jordan Pickford.
Yes.
Pickford gets the ball, clatters into Van Dijk, rules him out for the whole season. Pickford gets nothing. What is different about this particular incident?
The situation now with Pickford and Van Dijk is that you blame the referee on that situation. And even Michael Oliver, whoever was refereeing that game, came out after that, like after a few months, 3 months, he said that he should have given Pickford a red card. Even Clattenburg was being interviewed, I think in Dubai, he said that one should have been a red card. So in some situations, we do think that the referee should have done better, like consulting the VAR. But for last night, on Lloris going for Danilo said, I do think that's a deserved yellow card and a penalty. That's a foul.
How about that penalty on Kylian Mbappe? I mean, was there enough contact to make it a penalty?
Based on what Eric just said, it was a pen.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Semedo didn't go for the ball. He body checks Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah.
And based again on what Eric has said, it just simply typifies the fact that football has become a very soft game of football. I mean, it's become a very soft sport. Can you imagine Kylian Mbappe was body charged for a penalty?
Kylian, I do think it was too soft, like you said. It was a bit soft, but you know, he blocked a player who was he took away a goal scoring chance.
Nah, no way, man. No way, bro.
That ball was intended for Kylian Mbappe.
But the contact that was there was not enough to make it a penalty.
What do you mean contact was not enough? How do you determine that?
I mean, Eric, for a penalty to be given, you have to first of all look at the intention of the defender and the circumstances that the attacker was brought down into the box.
That one I agree
look
with
at
you.
how Kylian Mbappe went down.
It was too soft for Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah. But VAR was there to correct Emmanuel Lehoth, who's the referee on the day.
Yeah.
A very experienced referee of UEFA.
And you see, that's why I tell people, that's why City lost the Champions League final.
Jesus Christ.
Because of
we're not going to talk about that.
Shambolic refereeing.
Yeah.
Terrible referee. At one point,
he lost to Chelsea 1-0.
At one point during that final, the referee was crying. The referee was too happy. He was crying. Can you imagine?
This guy still beat up from the Champions League final.
But you know what, guys? Without taking away credit from the one and only Cristiano Ronaldo, as the greatest footballer of all time,
international penalty merchant,
he became the joint all-time scorer of international goals.
Fabulous.
I mean, that's amazing coming off Cristiano Ronaldo, who's aging.
Phenomenal player. I mean, we are privileged to breathe and walk in the same earth with this individual. I mean, there will never be such a player. I mean, we thought the likes of Pelé were good enough. We thought the likes of George Best were the greatest of all time. But now we're living in the world where we can see a living legend. And I mean, there's obviously going to come through that comparison of Lionel Messi with 6 Ballon d'Ors, etc., etc.
Of course, Messi is the best.
But bro, Messi can do nothing for his country, man.
And you know
what? That makes Cristiano a better player.
Dennis, I feel bad for your guy Bruno, because last night there were so many penalties. And Manzi had no chance even to take one.
But Dennis needs to tell us and address the nation on how Bruno Fernandes got dropped.
In the biggest game of the tournament so far.
So I'll tell you what. Part of the strategies of managers, managers is you reserve your best players, your little players who are going to have a huge impact when you need a late goal. When you need a late goal. And that is exactly what the manager of Portugal did. He reserved Bruno Fernandes. And just when things were thick in the second half, when Portugal were 2 goals down,
he came in at 2-2. Bruno
and
Fernandes
played on the wing.
And played on the wing.
Uko chini kwenye doesn't even play.
Then let's agree something. Let's agree something. João Moutinho at 39, whatever age he is, he's clear of Bruno Fernandes.
And you know, Dennis, a day before yesterday's game, Jose Mourinho came out and said Portugal are playing with 10 players.
Because of Bruno.
Because of Bruno is a passenger. It's not playing. It's not contributing. He's been found out.
You cannot judge a player's performance on one match or the
It's
few
not
matches
me
that
who
is
said.
or the few matches that is hard.
It's Mourinho who said, someone who has won the Champions League.
But look at
a very
Mourinho and what
respected
the kind
character
of
in Portugal.
run. Look at Mourinho and the kind of run he had at Tottenham Hotspur. He was at loggerheads ever with all the players.
Mourinho is the last manager to win new trophies, you know.
One thing you're meeting about Mourinho is the fact that people said for Mourinho to have a club prosper, he takes an individual's capability and brings it down, shuns down the motivation of an individual or a brilliant player, so that he can lift the whole team and put them on level in terms of motivation and players knowing their caliber in the team.
Dennis, before you cry, let me just ask you just a simple question that I know a lot of Kenyans want you to answer. If you were given an opportunity based on how you watched last night's game, would you start Renato Sanchez or Bruno Fernandes?
What?
I would do exactly what the manager of Portugal did.
Start Renato
knowing
Sanchez.
that I have two lethal midfielders.
No.
I would definitely start one of either and substitute both of them.
Can you pick one?
Just
Stop
pick
saying
one.
Don't
play on the fence here.
Why are you afraid?
Managers, that was a strategy and it was a winning strategy.
Why are you afraid?
Play Renato Sanchez.
So you would play
second half, bring in Bruno Fernandes.
And that's what I'm saying. So if Renato Sanchez was to sign for United today, you'd start Renato ahead of Bruno.
I would start either, but I'd
Stop
make
saying
sure.
either.
I would make sure if I start Bruno Fernandes in the second half, Renato Sanchez is going to start in the position of Bruno Fernandes, and vice versa. But you're picking me much about Bruno Fernandes. Lowton, Ruben Diaz scored an own goal for crying out loud in this competition. Talk about Ruben Diaz.
Before we go to Diaz, I wanted to ask you: does Bruno influence matches for Portugal?
No.
What do you mean?
We don't see the impact that he has on the team as much.
So he doesn't.
But he influences the team a lot.
No, so he influences when it comes to the bench.
So he does not influence matches for Portugal.
Let me address the Ruben Diaz issue.
Yeah.
Okay. The only reason Ruben Diaz scored an own goal is because Bruno Fernandes was playing in the midfield.
Oh, so Bruno was not to defend more.
Yeah, he was required to defend a little bit more because of Bruno's incapacity and incapability of defending. So that's the only reason why Ruben Diaz scored an own goal.
Dennis, I do think Saturday now was the final comparison between Ruben Diaz and Van Dijk.
In terms of what?
Van Dijk has never scored an own goal. You should never, ever compare these two.
But you know that's true, eh? Can I tell you why, Dennis?
Why?
That Van Dijk has never scored an own goal.
Yeah.
Because Van Dijk has never played in the Euros.
But he's injured.
And Van Dijk has never played in the World Cup.
He's going to play next year.
So I'm just saying, we can't use the start.
Ruben Diaz is not anywhere close to Virgil van Dijk.
Because he's played in international tournaments and Van Dijk has not.
Because he's injured. Come on, man. He's going to come back next year.
You know what, gentlemen? Enough said about the group of death. Of course, the three teams that have qualified into the round of 16 of the Euro 2020 are France, who top that group, then Germany come in second, and then Portugal, who qualified into the last 16. Now let's shift focus to Group D, which comprised of the likes of England, Croatia, Scotland, and Czech Republic. Now England, they were playing against Croatia in their first match. They emerged victorious by 1-0. Let's have a look at how that match unraveled.
At Global Precast Panels, we have the best quality, durable and affordable precast panels to suit all your needs. Manufactured under a controlled environment, we have the best precast concrete panels, precast concrete floor slabs, precast concrete perimeter wall, precast concrete columns and beams. Our panels reduce construction cost by up to 40% with absolutely no plaster required, including added soundproof benefits. Convenient for story buildings, schools, offices, residential houses, hospitals, and warehouses. Take advantage of our free transport. Contact us on 0702 24 7267 or 0796 24 7267. Global Precast Panels Limited, your reliable option for efficient construction.
These are the sights and sounds of a working nation. There are no shortages to remarkable ideas. What's missing is the will to execute them.
You need to stay relevant. If you don't, you're going to fade off.
Yes, they are a dime in a dozen, but the real meat on these bones.
Thank you so much for sending in your feedback using the hashtag TV47BanterZone. I'll just read a couple of them, but keep them coming. We'll definitely get to your particular tweet. Shout outs to Bryson Kibe who comes through. He says, I thought Turkey would at least make it to the knockout phase. That's obviously answering the question, which team has been the biggest disappointment this far in the tournament? Somebody else comes through, and that's in the person of Deno_N, who says, for the first time in a while, I agree with Lotan. Spain have been below par. No, definitely Eric would disagree with that particular tweet. And then obviously Hafith, that's Avidan_Kogo, who says, tuned in, and he says one funny thing, and this one I think is quite hilarious. He says, my grandma is supporting France. To be honest, you are, or your grandma is the coolest grandma in the world right about now.
Just one message here from Ireri Murioki says that, bro, tell those guys that France will check the Euros, but even England is on pole position to challenge.
All right, very well said there. Of course, thank you so much for the feedback that you keep coming in and tweeting on our social media platforms. Now, guys, how about we pick up that England versus Croatia match that, we played the highlights already. Raheem Sterling was the discussion as we opened, the discussion. So, Lowton, this is a chance. Glorify Raheem Sterling.
Not really just about Raheem Sterling, but every Man City player that has had the opportunity to play at the Euros, they've either scored,
even Ruben Dias
or created an assist. Even Ruben Dias to a large extent. But Raheem Sterling is coming out as the Prince of England. I mean, he's almost getting tired of carrying the English team because they're constantly depending on him to win them games, to get them into the second half. And the best part is seeing England or English fans who have trash talked Raheem Sterling the whole season cheering to his goal.
But you said it was finished.
You love to see. I didn't say nothing like that.
You told me that.
I told you that there's no evidence, bro. You can't just come and throw stuff at me
There's
on
one
TV.
player who you did not mention.
Who?
Harry Kane.
Oh man,
He's a Man City player,
Harry Kane is on the verge of becoming a Man City player, but that might not happen this season. But we need to speak about how Gareth Southgate has been very inconsistent in his team selection.
But Lowton, before we talk about Gareth Southgate, you've said that Raheem Sterling is getting tired of carrying the entire England squad on his back. But there's one star boy, Bukayo Saka, who's also performing very well for the English side.
Bro, now I know you've been watching Arsenal Fan TV, man. Now,
DStv.
Yo, you guys. Listen, the hype behind Bukayo Saka, I don't understand it.
He's the player of the season, man.
He's the player of the season at Arsenal with Bukayo Saka, Raheem Sterling scored the goal, Bukayo Saka removed the shirt. How do you explain that? Where in football do you see that?
It shows the desire that Bukayo Saka has to bag a victory for England.
But he didn't do nothing. He just broke the line.
Let me ask you, Dennis. Aren't you you're an English fan, yeah?
Yes, I am an English fan.
Aren't you concerned that Raheem Sterling is the guy carrying you people? I'm a delivery.
I'm not entirely concerned that Raheem Sterling is the guy, carrying England or ensuring that England secures victory, because I'm sure England is made up of very talented footballers apart from Raheem Sterling.
Talented players.
Yes.
Dennis, number two, aren't you worried? I'm concerned that the guy you are about to pay 85 to 90 million pounds for, Jadon Sancho, cannot start in this English team.
I am concerned about the kind of management that Gareth Southgate brings on board.
You're concerned of too many things, bro.
Let me tell you one thing, Gareth Southgate at first did not opt to start Jack Grealish, but it was out of uproar from fans that made him change his mind.
That game. England won the two.
If you're willing to bench Jack Grealish, and we've seen him do that in a match actually, benching Marcus Rashford, Jack Grealish, and Jadon Sancho. So I mean, you question the kind of management
No,
of
Dennis,
Gareth Southgate.
no. As we're questioning this guy's management, all right?
Uh-huh.
So imagine yourself as Gareth Southgate.
Yeah.
You've been given all that resources, that huge pool of great resources.
Yeah.
How would you line up your midfield? I know obviously your defense is going to be the same. I know your keeper is going to be the same. How are you going to line up your midfield and your striking? So let's see how you can fit in Jadon Sancho into that team.
I'm going to put Jadon Sancho.
So let's start with the midfield. Is he going to play in the midfield or in attack?
In attack, the left flank.
So you're playing 4-3-3, right?
Yeah, 4-3-3.
All right. So
Marcus Rashford on the left flank.
So Rashford doesn't even start.
No, let's listen to him first. So Rashford
Marcus
on the
Rashford
left.
on the left flank.
Yeah.
Jadon Sancho on the right flank.
Okay.
And my striker would be Harry Kane.
All right. And then in your midfield?
Well, the midfield is quite tricky.
Grealish, Mount, Calvin Phillips, Rice,
So who are you going to have?
Definitely Jack Grealish should be there. Mason Mount is definitely on top form.
But listen,
So
Dennis,
you-
if you play those two attacking midfielders, that is Mount and Nani and Jack Grealish, you need to play some holding midfielders who are going to like
Declan
step
Rice
back.
now.
Declan Rice, definitely.
So now what you're trying to tell me is United should play on the left and right of England national team. That's in Rashford and Jadon Sancho.
Yeah.
And then
Rashford does not start for England.
ahead of Sterling, ahead of Phil Foden,
Yeah.
ahead of everybody else, ahead of even Bukayo Saka that you're trying to praise right now. Buddha, what kind of coach are you, man?
A coach
You
that is
removed
very,
Foden
very
for Rashford.
determined.
Can you imagine?
A coach that is determined to secure victories. But you know what? A lot of banter coming through against Manchester United players, of course, who
It's because
made
we're a banter club
the
right now.
squad selection, who was selected in the England squad. But England, they were playing against Scotland. They registered a goalless draw. So how about you have a look at the highlights of that game?
Across.
At Global Precast Panels, we have the best quality, durable and affordable precast panels to suit all your needs. Manufactured under a controlled environment, we have the best precast concrete panels, precast concrete floor slabs, precast concrete perimeter wall, precast concrete columns and beams. Our panels reduce construction cost by up to 40% with absolutely no plaster required, including added soundproof benefits. Convenient for story buildings, schools, offices, residential houses, hospitals, and warehouses. Take advantage of our free transport. Contact us on 0702 24 7267 or 0796 24 7267. Global Precast Panels Limited, your reliable option for efficient construction.
These are the sights and sounds of a working nation. There are no shortages to remarkable ideas. What's missing is the will to execute them.
You need to stay relevant. If you don't, you're going to fade off.
The squad selection of Gareth Southgate.
I mean, that was a derby, man. It was expected. That was a derby. Scotland versus England. Derby. A lot of things
If
expected.
you can't score goals against Scotland,
I mean,
how do you expect to win this
What are you
tournament?
talking about, man? You can't use that as a measurement of to equate. I mean, Germany that we're trying to say here.
Scotland were teremushwa by Czech Republic and the other team Croatia.
Aina shida, but Scotland knew that this particular game against England had all of it to do. It was a derby. It was being played at Wembley. Scottish fans were there. English fans were offering and serving a lot of banter. So me, I support Scotland in this one.
So what happened to the opinion of England had a lot of chances, Phil Foden had a lot of chances, and Raheem Sterling had a lot of chances, but failed to score or capitalize on the chances.
I wouldn't call it a lot.
That is their story, you know?
No, I wouldn't call it a lot because England are very lethargic, very slow in build-up in that particular game. I know a lot of people came out and trash-talked Calvin Phillips after what he'd done against Croatia. But yet again, it was a derby. A lot of nerves, a lot of emotions were in it. And it's typical of the game of football. But don't tell me Rashford needs to start.
Dennis, you know, that tells you a lot about the coming matches for England. Germany, and probably if they go through, is that they're not going to win some of these big matches for me. If you cannot beat Scotland, a Scotland team that was really teremushwa by Czech Republic and Croatia, I do think you stand no chance. And obviously, like you said, if you cannot start Jadon Sancho and Jack Grealish, obviously Foden did not play the last game because of I think of yellow card. They were trying to avoid suspension. So we'll see how they line up against Germany. I expect the best
Foden
lineup.
will be there.
I expect to see Foden and then probably Sancho to come in with quite some time that he can change the game, and Grealish now Obviously, Raheem Sterling has been on form for Gareth Southgate since he came in.
And to be honest, I actually think Bukayo Saka might get into that game ahead of Jadon Sancho.
Jadon Sancho is going to United for 80 million, cannot start ahead of Saka.
You can't. He's not going to start ahead of Saka.
I wonder.
I can always put money on it, bro.
What makes you say Sancho cannot start ahead of Saka? I mean, and also Phil Foden, because I have a strong feeling that Loten Selepe, you're looking at the few goals that Phil Foden scored in the Champions League, and you're judging him to be the best ahead of Jadon Sancho.
Well, Foden is a really good player.
No, I'm just saying Foden offers something that Sancho cannot.
Even Rashford.
Yeah, absolutely. Remember, Jadon Sancho used to be a Man City player. He ran away because of Phil Foden and Raheem Sterling. Now he's met them in the national team and he can't run away somewhere else. I actually think if Gareth Southgate was smarter, he should have brought Jesse Lingard ahead of Jadon Sancho.
So, Dennis, what you're saying, when you sign Sancho this week, you're going to win the Premier League next season?
Most definitely. It's going to be the most lethal club in the world of football.
Mr. Producer, I hope you're recording this.
Nick,
because next year, May, we'll be here and we'll play this clip.
Well, talking about, the Group D of the Euro 2020, the teams that have qualified to the round of 16 are England, Croatia, and the Czech Republic, because Scotland, did not register victory in that competition. Now, moving on to the Group D, to the Group E, away from Group D, which featured the likes of Slovakia, Poland, Spain, and Sweden. Now, Slovakia were playing against Poland that has the one and only Robert Lewandowski, the little striker. Now, Slovakia stand Poland by a 2-1 victory. So let's have a look at the highlights of that game.
At Global Precast Panels, we have the best quality, durable and affordable precast panels to suit all your needs. Manufactured under a controlled environment, we have the best precast concrete panels, precast concrete floor slabs, precast concrete perimeter wall, precast concrete columns and beams. Our panels reduce construction cost by up to 40% with absolutely no plaster required, including added soundproof benefits, convenient four-story buildings, schools, offices, residential houses, hospitals, and warehouses. Take advantage of our free transport. Contact us on 0702 24 7267 or 0796 24 7267. Global Precast Panels Limited, your reliable option for efficient construction.
In this Polish side, because it has a very little striker in Robert Lewandowski, who's was a contender for the Ballon d'Or, but the only thing that seems to be holding him back is his national side.
Yeah, you can't blame Lewandowski for it. Let me give you an example. Aubameyang.
Yeah.
What a great striker. Plays for Gabon.
It's not that great.
He's a good striker. He's
At least you say he's good.
He's a top 20 strikers in the world. Fact, right?
It's not top 2 in the Premier League.
He's not top 2. We can argue that, but he can be. He's top 5 in the Premier League, but he's top 20 worldwide.
Is he top 1 in London?
Probably. But this man, his team Gabon, cannot seem to win anything. So it's a similar case with Poland. I mean, I remember that one point they had Jakob Blakuszewski, something like that. He used to play for Dortmund. I mean, the team, Lukas Piszczek, that was then Dortmund still. So it's a team that has a star in Lewandowski, but he doesn't have the support that he needs. Eric just rightly mentioned the likes of Ryan Giggs, great player individually. But when you put him in a team, when you put him in the Welsh team, it doesn't really take for him.
I do think, Dennis, people should not be expecting so much from some of these countries because they have like 1 or 2 really good names. You know, it's football. You play as a whole team. And they're not really that great like entirely. So, but going to the round of 16, I do think they still have a chance. They still have a chance to go through the quarters. So there's not so much expectation from people for them to win the Euros. They just need to go there, enjoy the game, and see what is going to happen.
And get a longer holiday.
I mean, this is one group that had 2 teams that were performing dismally. Also, Spain are part of Group E. They performed dismally. Now, Spain were playing also against Poland. They came off a 1-1 draw. So before we get to talk much about that game, how about we have a look at the highlights of that game?
At At Global Precast Panels, we have the best quality, durable and affordable precast panels to suit all your needs. Manufactured under a controlled environment, we have the best precast concrete panels, precast concrete floor slabs, precast concrete perimeter wall, precast concrete columns and beams. Our panels reduce construction cost by up to 40% with absolutely no plaster required, including added soundproof benefits, convenient four-story buildings, schools, offices, residential houses, hospitals, and warehouses. Take advantage of our free transport. Contact us on 0702 24 7267 or 0796 24 7267. Global Precast Panels Limited, your reliable option for efficient construction.
These are the sights and sounds of a working nation. There are no shortages to remarkable ideas. What's missing is the will to execute them.
You need to stay relevant. If you don't, you're going to fade off.
Yes, they are a dime in a dozen, but the real meat on these bones comes from trying to realize them.
You just need to perfect anything. If it's drawing, if it's music, pursue it 100% because it's something that is giving back.
Join me, Violet Njoki, as I tell you the stories of these executed ideas, because yours could be
Fortunately, the
next.
Polish side did not perform well enough to qualify into the round of 16 of the Euro 2020. Now, the clubs that are pretty much the teams and the nations that have qualified into the last 16 of that competition in Group E are Spain, Sweden, and it's only Spain and Sweden actually. Spain and Sweden. Now, this, remember in the UEFA Europa, I mean the Euro 2020, there is a selection of 3 teams in each group. Now, 3 teams, I'm saying 3 teams because there was an option of the 3rd best placed teams. Now, it was only given to 4 slots and UEFA were considering points. Now, Poland failed to get to the threshold of qualifying as the 3rd best placed team in Group E. Now, with that said, Spain and Sweden getting to qualify into the last 16 of Group E. How about we move on to Group B, which featured the likes of Belgium, Russia, Finland, and Denmark. So Belgium, in their first match, they were playing against Russia. They emerged victorious by 3-0. They went on ahead to play against Denmark. Now, they defeated Denmark by 2-1.
At Global Precast Panels, we have the best quality, durable and affordable precast panels to suit all your needs. Manufactured under a controlled environment, we have the best precast concrete panels, precast concrete floor slabs, precast concrete perimeter wall, precast concrete columns and beams. Our panels reduce construction cost by up to 40% with absolutely no plaster required, including added soundproof benefits, convenient four-story buildings, schools, offices, residential houses, hospitals, and warehouses. Take advantage of our free transport. Contact us on 0702 24 7267 or 0796 24 7267. Global Precast Panels Limited, your reliable option for efficient construction.
These are the sights and sounds of a working nation. There are no shortages to remarkable ideas. What's missing is the will to execute them.
You need to stay relevant. If you don't, you're going to fade off.
So I'll start off with you, Loten Salape, your sentiments about Kevin De Bruyne and, Romelu Lukaku.
Why are you setting us up? You should never ever ask him about KDB.
I'm not setting you up. I mean, without taking away credits from Kevin De Bruyne, in that match, especially the highlights that we played again, between Belgium against Denmark, it is Kevin De Bruyne who was the most integral player in that match. He provided an assist and he also scored the winner.
I mean, forget about what Eric wants to talk about right now. Kevin De Bruyne, or rather Belgium, are the only team, I think, that can stop France from winning this particular tournament. They're the only team.
But you see, Lotan, for Belgium, yes, they have a good attack. What do you think of Belgium's defense trying to stop France?
That would definitely be a hard thing, but yet again, the quality in the Belgium offense might push back the French. So that's why I'm saying it's a very
defense starts with offense.
It's a very, very difficult 50-50. But just to speak about Kevin De Bruyne, see, a lot of people speak about Lionel Messi.
No.
A lot of people speak about Cristiano Ronaldo. A lot of people speak about Pelé.
Salah.
A lot of people speak about the Nedveds, the Zidanes, etc. Brothers and sisters, Kevin De Bruyne is the best player on earth right now.
No, I think we should put that on correct. Kevin De Bruyne is the player who's on top form currently.
Stop falling for that. It's not even the best player at Man City.
Listen, and I like what Dennis is saying.
It's not even the best player at Man City.
One thing for sure, how KDB came back from a fractured face and his vision has become even clearer.
Dennis,
I mean,
let me ask you,
it's just beautiful, man.
Who is the best midfielder in Manchester?
Kevin De Bruyne.
Well, that's different.
Yeah, because
but in terms of
just
form,
answer my question.
But in terms of form, Eric, De Bruyne is in top form.
De Bruyne is not on form.
As compared to
Bruno
Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes.
Bruno was on form in the Premier League more than KDB.
Listen, you see what Kevin De Bruyne is trying to achieve transcends the Premier League. Right now, where Kevin De Bruyne is Ballon d'Or level. And you know what?
But then
he just
again,
needs to get to the final.
I like the fact that Eric Njiros brought about the conversation, regarding Manchester. Now it has made me remember Paul Pogba, who's also in top form. He's actually the integral player who ensures that France secure victories in this competition.
Absolutely.
So I'm definitely going to say that Paul Pogba is the best midfielder in Manchester as well as the Euro 2020.
See, Paul Pogba. You see the Paul Pogba that we see at France. Is the Paul Pogba United thought they bought.
So you're saying he joined the wrong Manchester club?
Absolutely. The Paul Pogba that plays for Man United, he just looks like, what's the name of that Crystal Palace captain? The one that scores every penalty. Not Schlupp.
Milivojevic.
Yes. That's how Paul Pogba plays for United. He's a prime Milivojevic.
Yeah.
I do think he oozes like so much like
brilliant flair.
Brilliance. He's got the flair. Like you're excited when you watch Pogba, and that is why I can advise him to leave Man United now and go to a club where his brilliance can be repaid.
He has 1 year left in his contract.
He's 28. He's going to be 30 in 2 years, in 1.5 years. So instead of playing at United where you win, we beat Pep Guardiola trophy only, you should go to a real club where you can win the Premier League title and win the Champions League. He's wasting his talent.
And when Jadon Sancho gets to join Manchester United, he's definitely going to be the standout player for Manchester United and make United the best club in the world. But talking about Group B, only 2 teams got to qualify to the last 16 of that competition. Now those teams are Belgium and Denmark. I mean, amazing competition the Euro 2020 has proven to be so far. Of course, the group stages are over. Now we're heading into the last 16. But gentlemen, unfortunately, I'm being informed that we're running out of time on TV47 BanterZone tonight. First of all, I want to thank you. That is Lawrence Alape and Eric Njiru. Many thanks for your amazing insights on set tonight.
So you think Sancho is going to unlock Pogba?
Most definitely. I mean, Pogba has always been unlocked. Pogba has always been unlocked. Sancho is going to be that missing puzzle, and he's going to be the puzzle that fits United.
I do think you should have gone for Daniel James. You can work on him. He can deliver the crosses like Sancho.
And he plays for Wales.
Yeah, exactly. And he's a free signing. You already have him.
Well, like my director Nick Mavindi is telling me, United is definitely going to dominate the English Premier League come next season, especially when Jadon Sancho gets to join the United franchise. But many thanks to the entire team that made this program possible. Also, you back at home, keep safe at all times and keep it sporty. Do not fret, because next week on Thursday, we're going to be here with more entertaining football conversations. My name is Dennis Otieno. Do enjoy the rest of your viewing.